E.N.D here, day 1 for the spoilers of Aetherdrift, the Fast and Furious set that will span 3 planes, Muraganda, Amonkhet and Kaladesh. Yes, it's Kaladesh and will ever be Kaladesh. Anyway, let's start. And let's start with the prize. The winner of the Grapur Grand Prix will get the Aether Spark, 4 generic mana, legendary artifact planeswalker equipment for loyalty counters. As long as it is attached to a creature, the Aether Spark can be attacked and has, whenever equipped creature deals combat damage during your turn, put that many loyalty counters on it. +1 attaches to up to 1 target creature you control, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. -5 draw 2 cards. -10 add 10 mana of any one color. Muraganda Raceway, land, start your engines, tap, add 1 colorless mana, max speed, tap, add 2 colorless mana. Amonkhet Raceway, land, start your engines, tap, add 1 generic mana, max speed, tap, target creature gains haste until end of turn. Avishkar Raceway, unfortunately I have to say it, but this should be Kaladesh Raceway. Land, start your engines, tap, add 1 colorless mana, max speed, 3, tap, discard a card, draw a card. Night Market, land, enters the battlefield tapped. As it enters, choose a color, tap, add 1 mana of the chosen color, cycle for 3 generic mana. Loot the Pathfinder for 2/1 green, 1 blue and 1 red, 2/4 with double strike, vigilance and haste. Exhaust for 1 green, tap, add 3 mana of any one color. Activate each exhaust ability only once in your game. Exhaust for 1 blue, tap, draw 3 cards. Exhaust for 1 red, tap, it deals 3 damage to any target. Vnixit Verbose Host for 1 and 1 blue, 0/4, start your engines. You have no maximum hand size. Max speed, if you would draw a card, draw 2 cards instead. What does start your engines means? It means that if you have no speed, it starts at 1. It increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life. Max speed is 4. Taking part in this deadly race, there will be 10 teams. One of them is Cloudspire Racing Team, captained by Chandra Spark Hunter, 3 and 1 red. 4 loyalty counters. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target vehicle you control. Until end of turn, it becomes an artifact creature and gains haste. +2, you may sacrifice an artifact or discard a card. If you do, draw a card. 0, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1. -7, you get an emblem with, whenever an artifact you control enters the battlefield, this emblem deals 3 damage to any target. Aided by Collodine Triumph Caster for 1 red and 1 white, 2/3. Mounts and vehicles you control have haste. Whenever a mount you control enters the battlefield, it becomes saddled until end of turn. Whenever vehicle you control enters the battlefield, it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Cloudspire Sky Cycle for 2/1 red and 1 white, 2/3 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among 1 or 2 other target vehicles and or creatures you control. Crew for 1. Then we have the Keel Howlers, captained by Captain Howler Sea Scourge for 2/1 blue and 1 red, 5/4 with War 2 paid to life. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn for each card discarded this way. Whenever the creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, you draw a card. Their vehicle, Boosted Sloop for 1/1 blue and 1 red, 3/3 with menace. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card. Crew for 1. The Speed Brood, captained by Etchik Emerald Radiant, 3 to black and 1 green, 3/3, enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each artifact and or creature card in your graveyard. Whenever another insect you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Each opponent loses 1 life. Their deadly vehicle, Thunderous Velocipede for 1 and 2 green, 5/5 with trample. Each other vehicle and creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter if its mana value is 4 or less. Otherwise, it enters with 3 additional +1/+1 counters on it. Crew for 3. Alacrian Quick Beast, captained by Caradora Heart of Alacria for 2/1 green and 1 white, 4/2. Enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a mount or vehicle card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature or vehicle you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. Caradora's Loyal Beast, Lagorin Soul of Alacria for 1 green and 1 white, 1/1 with flying. Whenever it attacks while saddled, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target mounts and or vehicles. Saddle for 1. Guide Light Voyagers, captained by Mendicant Core Guide Light for 1 white and 1 blue, asterisk 3. Its power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. Start your engines. Max speed. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1 generic mana. If you do, copy it. Their vehicle, Guide Light Path Maker for 1 white and 1 blue, 6/5 with Vigilance. Enters the battlefield. You may search your library for an artifact card and reveal it. Put it on the battlefield if its mana value is 2 or less. Otherwise, you can put it into your hand. Then shuffle. Crew for 2. Goblin Rocketeers, captained by Redshift Rocketeer Chief for 1 red and 1 green, 2/3 with Vigilance. Tap at X mana any one color where X is its power. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. Exhaust for 10, 1 red and 1 green. Put any number of permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Their vehicle, Boommobile for 2 and 2 red, 5/5, enters the battlefield at 4 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. Exhaust X, 2 and 1 red. This vehicle deals X damage to any target. Put a +1/+1 counter on this vehicle. Crew for 2. Rocketeer Boost Bucky for 1 red and 1 green, 3/2. When this vehicle attacks, create a treasure token. Exhaust 3 generic mana. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. Crew for 1. Ether Rangers, captained by Sita Varma Masked Racer for 1 green and 1 blue, 2/3 with Exhaust X, 2 green and 1 blue. Put X +1/+1 counters on it. Then you may have the base power and toughness of each other creature you control becomes equal to its power until end of turn. Their vehicle, Rangers Ether Hive for 1 green and 1 blue, 3/5 with Visions. Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, create a 1/1 colorless top tier artifact creature token with flying. Crew for 1. The E.N.D Riders, captained by Far Fortune and Boss, 2/1 black and 1 red, 4/5. Start your engines. Whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Max speed. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1 instead. Their vehicle, Apocalypse Runner, 2/1 black and 1 red, 6/5. Tap target creature control with power 2 or less, gains lifelink until end of turn and can be blocked this turn. Crew for 3. The Speed Demons, captained by Winter Cursed Rider for 1 black and 1 blue, 3/2. Ward pay to life. Artifacts you control have ward pay to life. Exhaust for 2, 1 blue and 1 black. Tap, exile X artifact cards from your graveyard. Each other non-artifact creature get -X/-X until end of turn. Their deadly vehicle, The Last Ride for 1 black, 13/13, gets -X/-X where X is your life total. 2 and 1 black, pay to life, draw a card. Crew for 2. Last but not least, the Champions of Amonkhet, captained by Zuhur Glory's Past for 1 white and 1 black, 3/2. Start your engines. Sacrifice another creature. Safer 1. Activate only once each turn. Max speed. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, create a tap to 2 black zombie creature token. Zuhur will be aided by Basri, Tomorrow's Champion for 1 white, 2/1, 1 white, tap, exerted, create a 1/1 white cat creature token with lifelink, cycling for 2 and 1 white. Whenever you cycle this card, cats you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Last but not least, box stoppers. Yes, Aetherdrift play booster boxes and collector booster boxes will have 2 box stoppers, and you can find these special borderless drift of first place foils. But wait, there is more. Aetherdrift will come with 2 pre-constructed commander decks. First one, Living Energy. Its commander, Sahili Radiant Creator for 1 green, 1 blue and 1 red, 4/4. Whenever you cast an artificer or artifact spell, you get an energy counter. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 energy counters. When you do, create a token that's a copy of target permanent you control, except it's a 5/5 artifact creature, in addition to its other types, and has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Sahili will be aided by Pianalar Chief Mechanic for 1 green, 1 blue and 1 red, 2/4. Whenever 1 or more artifact creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, you get 2 energy counters. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 or more energy counters. If you do, create an XX colorless vehicle artifact token named Nallar Aetherjet with flying and crew 2, where X is the amount of energy counters spent this way. Second commander deck, Eternal Might. Its commander, Temet Naktumen's Will for 2/1 white, 1 blue and 1 black, 4/4 with Vigilance and Menace. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you draw a card, zombies you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Temet will be aided by Hashaton Scarab's Fist for 1 white and 1 black, 1/3. Whenever you discard a creature card, you may pay 2 and 1 blue. If you do, create a tap token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. So that was the last card in this particular day 1 for the spoilers of Aetherdrift. Join me again tomorrow because I'm going to cover all the spoilers of this Fast and Furious set. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.